Good morning, Turfs Up Radio. Wayne Bowes, Profits Unlimited, coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky. Yes, indeedy. Oh my goodness, we got a day going on here in Louisville. Yes, we do. We do. And hey, we're going to have a great show today. Looking forward to talking to you guys today and got a few things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about collections and getting paid. That was actually our topic last night in our webinar in the Profit Circle. So you guys that weren't with us last night, be sure to check that out. Daniel will get that up here shortly and the replay on that. And going to talk a little bit about some of that content that we discussed because I think it's valuable for everybody. And we're going to talk a little bit about end of year and what goes on at the end of the year around your place, our place, everybody's business, and talk about the new year a little bit. And so that's what our plan is. And as always, I'm counting on you guys to get involved with me. Seth, appreciate you listening, my friend. Glad you tuned in with us and listening. Hope everybody's had a good week so far. And we haven't been able to do too much of anything outside, so we just decided that today we were just going to call it. And last 2 days, the Monday, Tuesday, the wind chill was just way too cold to get out and try to do lawn type work. So give our crews the respect of if we don't have to do it, don't do it kind of thing. And because we appreciate everything they do for us on a regular basis. So sometimes you just got to throw the towel in and say, what the heck, man? What the heck, So, but we got several, we're trying to get our fertilization and our lime complete, but it's looking really, really good. Next week, unfortunately, I'd rather be doing snow, but weather looks warm, looks good. And, we're going to plan on, getting those wrapped up next week. So that's what the plan is. And, between God and Mother Nature, I'm sure we'll have some adjustments, but that's what our plan is. We're trying to say, hey, man, we're gonna get those done next week. Temperature's going to be in the 50s and should be good weather to get a lot of work done. So that's what the PLAN is all about. So that's what we're going to do. So that's where we're at. Just curious to what you guys been doing this week, if anything. Somebody let me know. Somebody let me know if y'all been doing, or if you're out today, hey, what are you maybe out today doing? That'd be something good to know too. So could certainly be out today. We could be, but we were thinking, man, we're going to want to bail out of here probably around halftime today. We're going to call it. Mike says they're out wrapping up leaves today. So he's getting leaves done. Good for you, Mike. Yay. We missed you last night, Mike. So be sure to check that replay out. I think you'll enjoy the content last night that we had going on the God, lost my old train of thought, on our webinar. There we go. There we go. So, hey, just a lot of things going on here. And WLS, I'm going to pick up a vehicle. Kyle's finalizing some paperwork on the vehicle, and that's what's going on here. We're getting some equipment, trying to get those 12/31 dates on that paperwork. So, yeah, that's what's going on around here. We'll talk a little bit about that too. Craig, appreciate you texting in this morning. Happy New Year's Eve to you too. Craig's on vacation. Yeah, good for you, man. Good for you. Glad you're tuned in. Hope you and your family are having a good time. And yeah, I hear you, Mike. We saw you disappear, so we figured something happened there as well. So Craig's on vacation and enjoying himself. Mike's out working. Seth is hammering it out. So, and appreciate all you guys that are listening to us on a regular basis here on Turfs Up. Appreciate each and every one of y'all, no doubt about it. And for you guys that are listening to us up in the Northeast, hopefully you're getting through that snow. You guys have snow and ice going on, so congratulations on that. We had it early here in December, and haven't had anything since. We've had some kind of jacked up weather, but from this, and I don't mean the snow jacking us up, but um, just after the snow, being on the ground, couldn't do anything. And I think we were talking about it yesterday, and I think we came up with, or Kyle said it's been like, I don't know, 5 days or something that we've been able to get out since it started snowing in early December. So as far as production goes, so it is what it is, and that's what it is, and we're not going to cry about it because we can't do anything about it. So uh, it is. That's what it is. Uh, Phew, I bet so, Corey. Corey says he's out doing a cleanup on an acre and he's by himself today. So he said he's already tired. I bet so, man. That's a pretty good sized property, man, to be out there mingling around with just two legs and two arms and equipment. So, but hey, man, I know one thing: you'll get it knocked out. You get it knocked out, you get it done, and that's what it's all about, right? So, um, but hey, get that work done, and then get yourself primed up for when I say primed up, get ready to have a little family time, everybody. You know, um, Craig says, as you know, we're still working on vacation. I've already updated his employee handbook, which was sorely outdated. So it's a successful vacation already. I hear you. I hear you, Craig. And it's always good to keep those things updated. And it's funny to hear you say it was sorely uh, outdated. So, hey, the thing is, now it's good, and you're moving into a new year. And Daniel, kind of funny talking about that a little bit. Why we don't call it the old year now that we're in, but we call it a new year. So just verbiage, just verbiage. But yeah. So hopefully you guys got some good plans tonight for yourself or you and your significant other or friends or whatever it is. I mean, I know your plans change as you get kids or you don't have kids or you get a little older and you do things differently on New Year's Eve than you used to, or maybe you've always done the same thing. I know my mom and dad, gosh, when they were rolling around still in their 80s, I know they were still going to a hotel with their friends on New Year's Eve and just having a good time, playing cards, doing what they did. And pretty cool, pretty cool. So um, just do what you like. That's the thing. But just know, be careful, be responsible. And I know we all like to go out and have a good time, but just be careful and be sure, don't drink and drive. There's too many alternatives to that. Uh, Corey said his plans look like an ice bath, Daniel. So he's out. That's funny, Corey. You got this under control, buddy. I know you got it under control, and you make it. There's not a doubt in my mind. You're going to be you're good. So, but hey, if you need an ice bath, hey, get you an ice bath. So, I've never done that. You ever had an ice bath, Daniel?
No. Nope.
I wonder how cold it really is. If it's just a shock to the system at first.
I think it's
I don't.
cold. I've heard a lot of people talk about ice baths and stuff, and they
Yeah,
say it's
it just
it's
stays
a
cold.
challenge.
Yeah.
The hardest ones are the ones that have the moving water, the circulating water,
Oh yeah.
because it's like
Keeps it
basically
cold.
underwater wind in that at that point,
Yeah.
because you don't have that thermal layer anymore of the warmth that your body
Yeah. There's
creates.
nothing between you and it because it's moving.
Yeah. I will say though, Corey, if you have a big
Lordy.
enough bathtub you're comfortable to like sit in for a while, that a hot bath can actually be good as well for like muscles and stuff like that. Throw some
Well,
Epsom salt in there, whatever.
well, good deal. There you go, Corey. So you don't have to freeze yourself, maybe. So, uh, regardless of what you decide, it'll all be good. I know you'll be coming out on the winning side of that. So let's see. Craig said, yeah, he's glad he got to working on his handbook. He hadn't looked at it for, about a year, so he made some necessary changes. And that is something good to, think about and do. As Craig bringing up, hey, he's on vacation, and uh, that's something he wanted to accomplish. and I'm sure he's not doing it during his family time, but kids lay down or whatever, and it's quiet, and it give you something to do and look at and get adjusted to and update things. So yeah, it's just good quiet time to get some things like that done. And if you do not have an employee handbook or an employee hand papers, we'll call it, just something for everybody. It may not be a full book. You don't have to go that route necessarily, depending on job description and, jobs that you've got available. But certainly you want that in writing. And that is something that we have templates for at Profits Unlimited as well. Policies and procedures, employee policy and procedures for you to use as a template. Because as Craig said and whatnot, I mean, everybody's is different. So it just gives you an opportunity then to get a template to give you ideas of, hey, maybe you do this and you don't do that, or hey, maybe you're not doing PTO, or maybe you're not doing health insurance, or maybe you're not doing retirement plans, but whatever it is you're doing needs to be inclusive in there, and as for and not just the benefit side of it, but just the everyday policy and procedures and what's expected. And I can tell you that we've had a couple situations over the years that we've been in business where, because we had those signed off on, and I'm talking about even for seasonal help, we have them sign off on basic general policies and procedures of how to dress, how to act, when to get to work, what happens if you don't come to work, and all those things. Everybody, when they're hired, signs off on that. And we've had some people that decided that they were going to try to draw unemployment, or that we'll just use as an example, but it's a real example. And but they were terminated for not following company policy and procedures, and then they forgot that they signed something that said they were supposed to follow the rules. So we submit that as our evidence of why, hey, we got rid of them, and there you go. That claim's denied. So it's all about protecting yourself and or protecting, and maybe not or and protecting your employees. Everybody needs to have the peace of mind that, hey, these are the rules we're going to play by. So, Craig, glad to hear you're working on that, man. So that's something that I'm glad you brought that up today, because it is a perfect time, to talk about it, and we'll see how it goes for everybody, and maybe it's something new that you implement this year. If you haven't done it, and you don't, you think, well, I just tell everybody. Well, a verbal explanation's okay, but if it's not in writing, it doesn't happen. That's just the reality of it 99.9% of the time, you know. So if you have it in writing, there's no question what somebody has signed off on and what your intentions as the business are, and how rules will be dealt with. So it does give you a clear and concise opportunity to have policies and procedures in place on how, even down to how, when you punch in, when you punch out, because there's something I saw on Facebook, Daniel. I don't remember where it was, but it was a joke. But it was a guy talking about, he poops every day at work and it takes him 12 minutes or something. And he said, hey, man, it doesn't sound like a lot. He says, but hey, 340 days a year after I do my vacation or whatever, that's X number of minutes, that's X number of hours I got paid for just going to the bathroom. So not that you're going to tell somebody not to go to the bathroom when they're at work, but, I mean, and depending on, none of us in our industry are probably going to have that problem where somebody's got to stop, because you're on job sites a lot. But, if somebody does need to go to the restroom, of course they stop and go to the restroom. But just it's something, again, to Craig's point, you need to look at it, you need to evaluate it, see how it's going, and what's new. I mean, God, I remember when we used to have in our information that you couldn't wear earrings, and and but that's because we did a ton of residential work, and when that first got popular about guys putting holes in their heads and wearing earrings, it was like it was a little bit offensive to some of our older customers. So we just had a policy where at work you couldn't wear an earring, and hell now it doesn't. It's just purely acceptable. So that's how things change. Do you ever know about that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So and hair length came into play. I
Yep.
mean, it's just, and it's really just about looking and acting professional. And that definition of professional does change over time. What is accepted as, what looks professional, or what isn't professional. But let's see what Craig said here. The two key areas he updated was explaining how he tracks hours, and he had run into an issue with some guys milking the clock. So now it's on paper, and clarifying disciplinary actions. Absolutely. Sounds like it's been a good time for you. And that's just it. And that's why, a lot of companies have gone to performance basically, you know, and and nothing wrong with that, if that's the way you want to do it. Incentivize the production. But you got to be careful when you incentivize production, if it's based on an entire crew, if you will, make that distinction. Uh, and a lot of that issue, and this happened to us several years ago. Excuse me, was that because everybody's not there every day, when you base some type of bonus program uh, on production, then it's like, well, okay, well, Wayne wasn't here Tuesday and he was late Thursday. And then but you got the crew that did this, and this, then, it's trying to keep all that segregated. So, not saying you can't do it. It absolutely can be done. Okay. But a lot of times that pay for production is um, we're not going to get into it today, but certainly a good thing. It does giving somebody an opportunity to make additional money and make additional good money. But a lot of times it can be also based on individual performance versus when you try to incorporate a crew into that, it can get a little bit problematic. So, again, I'm not prepared to talk on that today, so we're not. But that's just something to think about, and be happy to talk on it another day. But it's glad to hear that you're working on that, Craig. Just to have, again, to keep it clear and concise. Because it's, but basically what it boils down to, hey, when you got people at work, they got to get paid. I mean, it's just that simple. It amazes me. And here we go down a kind of a tangent, Daniel, but or down a rabbit hole. But it amazes me the guys that say, "Well, I'm just paying my people from I'm not paying them drive time. I'm paying them time." Hey, when we get to Miss Smith's house, their time starts. When we're done, it stops. We get to the next one, it starts and stops again. That's BS. You can't do that. Or I don't know any states that's legal in, you know. Um, don't get yourself hung up in that. And you can say, well, man, I've been doing it for years. Well, do it. But don't cry when you get, somebody turns it in and says, hey, man, this is the time that.
Or don't cry too when your employees that aren't getting paid between jobs are taking the long route and blaring music and flipping people off and not acting professional in between because they're not getting paid. They're not under your thumb in that time then.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, I mean, if they're not at work and they're not, then they're not subject potentially to the work related rules. So just something to think about. That's a really great point, Daniel. It is. So
And yeah, when does that start? Is it when the lawnmower comes off the yard, or is it when it goes on the trailer? Is it when the door's closed in the truck? Like it's just such a silly thing to even
even
do it like that.
well, they do it because they just don't know what they don't know from employee standpoint, as well as Great point, Daniel. Um, like I said, that's a really great point. So, and it is. I mean, it just gets too convoluted. The deal is it's up to you as the owner or the route manager or whatever, however you're structured, to keep people motivated, keep people working, make sure the route density's right, make sure the job's bid right. If you got drive time, that's up to you. I mean, the employee's responsibility is coming to work and performing up to the scope of the work that they're doing. I mean, that's what their responsibility is, and do their job based on their job description. So we're making noise over here, Kate. Oh, I got you. Ta-da! So let's see what we've got here. True that, Mike said. Yeah, it's probably the $35 cut company. Uh, let's see. Craig said he's made it a rule that for his maintenance crews, they got to clock out 5 minutes after they get back to the shop. That's plenty of time to put trimmers, blowers, gas cans, whatever, for the landscape crews that we have installed. Jobs were allowed to go 15 minutes to unload the truck when they get back. So, yeah, I mean, and that goes back to and who's doing that too. That's something, Craig. I mean, as your company grows, maybe it's not the entire crew's responsibility. Hey, when you got a crew leader and two people on a truck. Hey, when you get back, your two crew guys hop off, go punch out. The crew leader disconnects the truck if it gets disconnected and finalizes the day. And you got one person doing that instead of two or three people doing it. It gets to that law of diminishing returns on something like that. And everybody's watching the next person do the job. And I can remember when I had a time clock job, Danis, I swear to God, this is a true story. And I mean, I'd walk into the punch room. I'd walk into our time in, time out punch. We had a little area that everybody went to, right? At Sullivan, when I was working there part time as a student helper. Um, I'd walk in there and I'd wait for that next minute to click on the clock, and then tink, click in. That was so petty, it was stupid, you know. But at 18, 19 years old, man, minutes made more minutes,
Yeah.
I mean, over the course of the week, it was 10 minutes. If you did a minute, 2 minutes on each day, 5 days, it wasn't a big deal. And so that's why, us as owners, we know all the tricks or most of the tricks that people try, you know. And I think, Craig, that's a really good idea, addressing load and unload time like you have. And just make it the crew leader's responsibility. That's it. And I mean, we specifically, something we used to have trouble with here is guys would come in and punch in as soon as they got here, and then wait 15, 20 minutes, whatever, for, their crew to get here and get ready to go. And it doesn't work like that. Hey, this is your report time, and this is when you're going to punch in. If you want to get here 15 minutes early and sit around and drink coffee and lie and talk to us all, that's cool. But you're not going to punch in and then go sit back in your car and wait till the time when we depart the shop. And that's another thing. And, a lot of it goes back to company culture. I mean, it really does on that stuff. Do your people feel like they need to milk the clock? And I mean, I get that. I understand that. Like I said, I waited for it to click every day before I'd punch in. So I get it. Was it right? Absolutely not. But did I think it made sense? Absolutely so. So what we got to do is create a company culture around, hey, let's do this. Let's be more professional. Hey, like I tell these guys here, man, when you're legitimately going to be doing something in the shop or getting something together for the day, punch in. I don't want you to do anything for free. Okay. Don't expect you to do anything for free. But on the other hand, I don't expect to get robbed 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. And that's where it is up to you as the owner. And then, as your company gets bigger, somebody else's responsibility for making sure that those things are clear and concise on when you punch in, when you punch out. We used to have guys all the time, when we were hiring the wrong people, come in, they'd come in the morning, punch in, go sit in their car, do something. And we're looking like, how'd they punch in at this time, man? But why? Then you'd ask, well, I got here. I thought we were supposed to punch in. No. Then you got to explain it to them. And the point is, you're explaining it to them and they know it's not right. But you have to be the bigger person and act like you're stupid enough to believe that they didn't know and explain it to them in a different format that their simple mind can understand. So that's where it takes, you just got to look for different people. That's what it amounts to, So I'm glad to hear that you're working on it, Craig, and addressing it. And then there should be no question on how it's going down. It's just that simple. So everybody keep working on it. Speaking of working on it, let's take a short break and we'll be right back with more Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio. Your industry, your station on this eve of the new year. Don't you go anywhere. Katie's resolving that issue for us, but our copy machine was over here going beep, 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 beep. Oh, Lordy. But hey.
It has the ability to beep. It should have the ability to just speak English.
Probably could, right?
It can make noise. You think it would just have a speaker that could interpret beeps into English or something,
Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting. I bet they really do now. I bet there's some of them that out there say, your paper is low, instead of just a light coming on and saying your paper's low, so. But it's out there, Daniel.
Hopefully.
Yeah, everything else. Let's see. Corey says he unfortunately found out that even with a digital time clock, oh my God, they will try to steal from you. Had a guy go in and edit his hours and add it to ours. When I confronted him, he said he didn't know how it happened. They never do. It's like the Easter Bunny did it. My mom specifically used to always say the Boy Scouts did it. When something would disappear, or we couldn't find something, she'd always say, well, I guess the Boy Scouts did it, But so, Corey, maybe that's it. Maybe the Boy Scouts did it. But, if there's a way to cheat, they'll try to find it. And that's where it's just up to you. Like I said, a lot of that does go back to company culture. And that's just something that we all try to work on and to, create something different and better so we don't have that. But, there's always, that's always out there. It's just the way it is. Anybody says they don't have it, they don't know they got it. And I will be willing to say that. I'll be willing to just come on out with that and say that it goes on at every company. It just may different levels, when I say different levels of how extreme it may or may not be. But now you may have some people, and like we do, that, man, they're just perfect, and that, hey, this guy's as honest as the day is long, and that's just the way it is. But on other ends of it, you just know that, hey, man, this is somebody we need to check on. To Corey's point, I find my guys forget to clock out when they leave the shop and often remember to clock out 30 minutes later. It's kind of like like I said, we used to have guys come back, fool around a little bit, come in, go to the bathroom, talk to us a minute, hey, man, hope y'all had a good day, da, 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 da. And then, we hear them go out and we hear the time clock click, So, yeah, it happens. That's why, Craig, to your point, it's good to have it. It's good to have it in place of, hey, this is how it's going to happen. And, that's one thing the GPS on our trucks comes in really handy on is for that situation. If somebody says, "Oh man, I forgot to punch out. Let's see. Let me think when we got back." Well, number one is let's look at somebody on your crew. Number two is let's look at the GPS on the truck because the truck does not have a dog in the hunt. The truck's just recording where it's at and how long it's there. So that's the part that's always going to be right is the truck. So um, anyways, yeah, Craig, thanks for bringing that up, man. That sparked a pretty good little conversation today on that. That's certainly a good thing. That's a good thing. I think that's something we all need to be thinking about this time of the year. But think about it any time, right? But as we're sitting here at the end of one season and getting ready to roll into another, we always are trying to figure out what we can do to create a little more efficiencies within our business. Because a lot of times it's not always about raising your prices, to increase your margin or to get a particular margin. It's hey, where are our inefficiencies located? And a lot of times it's in the mornings, it's at the gas station. And I can tell you guys something right now that I guarantee you save you money is do not get fuel in the morning. If you don't have fuel on site, which most people don't, do not get fuel in the morning. It's the most expensive time of the day to get fuel. And not from a cost standpoint, from a gallon, cost per gallon, from everybody's getting fuel in the morning, right? A lot of different companies, a lot of different people. So now they're not one guy's getting fuel and the other ones are inside in line buying donuts and sandwiches and Gatorades and whatever it is else they're in line doing, and the meter's running. And I mean, as a one truck operator, I don't know exactly what this number is. We hadn't ran it for a while, but I think when you look at the numbers, say a one truck operation with just a couple guys helping you, okay, you can figure your own numbers out quickly and easily on this. But what I will guarantee you that if you stop getting fuel in the morning and start getting fuel in the afternoon, your time on that stop will certainly be reduced. Number one, less people at the gas station or Wawa or Thornton's or wherever you're buying your fuel. There's less people there, and then your crews want to get back and get going. You know, so yeah. Craig says don't forget they're buying lottery tickets too. That's it. So switch that up because I think what you're going to find out, even as a one truck operation, you may save yourself a few $100s a week, literally on unproductive time. And, it doesn't sound like a big, let's say you can save 2 hours a week, just 2 labor hours a week. If you just save 2 labor hours a week, for most of us, that's a couple $100 minimum, you know? So just think instead of those 2 labor hours being spent at the fuel station, gas station, whatever you want to call it, okay, you can add 2 more hours of work on and not increase your not increase your labor cost. So yeah, just track that. If you don't change anything else this year, and I'm sure you will, we all change some things, but change the when you get your fuel. And hey, even if it's just you, let's say you're a solo operator, right? Out there running around by yourself. I know you're not out there wanting to waste time, but hey, it's going to be less time involved if for you even if it's just you because of so many people getting fuel in the morning and it give you less headache and less, oh my God, won't they let me in? Or I can't get out. Now I'm stuck behind another truck and trailer, or, all the BS that happens when you're getting fuel in the morning. So we've beat that horse pretty good. So I think y'all get my point. Just try it, maybe that's our truth bomb for today. Just try that, getting that fuel in the afternoon versus the morning and see what happens. Just see what happens. So, Daniel, you got any big plans tonight? Want to lighten things up a little bit.
Oh, just probably watch. Hopefully, Miami beat Ohio State.
Yep. Oh, that's tonight.
Yeah,
I will watch that. Is that for
yeah.
early game or is late game?
That's 8, I think.
Yeah, that should be a pretty decent game.
We'll see. It could definitely go
You wearing your new
several
jersey?
ways.
Your new
Oh,
hoodie?
my hoodie. Yeah, I'll probably
Yeah.
slap that on.
I got Daniel a Miami hoodie for Christmas. So get out there and root for the
The last
Hurricanes.
2 big games that they've played and won, though, I've watched at Kyle's house. So
Oh God.
hopefully that's not the.
I'd have to go to Kyle's house. I mean, it's got and probably wear the same underwear and socks and
Yeah.
the whole deal, man.
Well, they've already beaten one of my least favorite teams, which is Notre Dame. So they can beat one of my least favorite teams of Ohio State. It'd be a pretty good way to. Even if they don't win the next one, I'd be very thrilled with beating Ohio State.
Yeah, it's always fun to beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
It's kind of like teams that beat Trinity. It's
Yeah.
it's just that's a team to beat, man, and you beat them, and that's a good thing. So
And
yeah,
actually, Kyle and I think he asked me the other day, he was like, would you rather have lost as a fan the game before playing Ohio State or against Ohio State? And typically, I'm actually the person that would just rather lose the game before instead of going through the measure of losing a team you actually dislike. But since Ohio State is so good, beating them would be, and even losing the next one would still be kind of like how Michigan celebrates, even when they're not like a great team, but they beat Ohio State like they did last year.
yeah,
It would just be like it would just make you feel good, like I'm just glad we beat this team. I don't care what else
yeah.
happens.
It's a
So
feel good moment. Yeah,
yeah.
I hear you. Well, good luck to that. Yeah, I might have to tune that in too, man. That should be a good one.
And then doesn't Michigan and Texas play today? Michigan and Texas play today.
That
I
should
think
be
at 3 maybe. So
that'd be a decent game too.
Vandy and Iowa, I think
So
is who it is.
dang, man, I'm glad we're leaving early.
There's a lot of
I
good
get done
games.
with my show here. I'm going to pick up a new vehicle.
Yeah.
So I need that paperwork dated 12/31. So I told the and oh, the row really. So oh, okay, would have been in my possession here in
Be
about
driving it. The
about
GPS won't
two
lie.
hours. Oh, if we had it, Kyle's telling us some bookkeeper info. So we had it. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta explain to them.
That's why it pays to have a CPA, even as, especially maybe even as a small business.
Oh, absolutely. I
Because you
tell
go
say
and
that all the
you
time.
have this idea of, oh, we're going to have all this great stuff until you learn that you did it, but then you didn't have it in your
You didn't
possession.
have it in your possession. Yeah.
So,
So yeah, would be and oh my God. That is so true. Craig said, yeah, two labor hours a week saved equals the cost of a couple new blowers and trimmers. Absolutely. And that's on a small company scale. So you start looking at 3 or 4 trucks out or, even more than that. I mean, it becomes a very significant number pretty daggone fast. So, yeah. So, but I'm looking forward to those games. And then God, it's like you get so much football, right here on today and tomorrow, right? And then when's the national championship? Next
that's
week?
I think that's the 19th. Yeah.
19th.
So it's
So
like you skip a week.
it'll probably, yeah. So you get to this, have a lot, and then it scales back, and then all of a sudden you don't know what to do after the 19th.
Yeah.
So probably snow. I know it snows a lot. We've seen a lot of football here at our shop, a lot of national championship football in between snow runs here at the shop. I do know that. So over the course of the time, but I mean, it's right there. But
Yeah. Then after the college and the pro playoffs start, I think they probably start before that, but, get
yeah,
into the depths of it. So then after February, whatever, then there is no football for the next 6 months or whatever it is.
yeah, till
7 months.
you roll around to what, the end of
September.
August again or
Yeah.
September. So, all right. Well, I just wanted to go down that rabbit hole for a minute.
Yeah. I will
So,
say, since we're kind of just on a chill note for a second, I have been watching the show 1923. So if anybody out there enjoys the Yellowstone series, trilogy, whatever you want to call it, I'm currently watching that in the date order, not how it came out, but I watched 1883, watching 1923. I'm on season 2. and then I'll be on to the actual Yellowstone here
Damn, those
before
people
long.
lived a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be cool if they did have something like that, just generationally moved along?
That's what this is.
Oh, is it the same? So it's the
It's the
same
same
family?
family, yeah.
Oh, damn. See, they had a good idea before I did.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, we'll go with that. Yeah. Uh, Seth said Duke and Georgia Tech play today if you need something else to watch.
That won't be a bad game. That could have been the oh wait. No. Yeah, it was Virginia and Duke that played in the ACC championship, but that could have also been an ACC championship game.
Notre Dame still at home crying.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
decided to just
They
not
decided to
play,
cry and go home.
take their football
So,
and go
and
home.
I'm not making fun of Notre Dame because it's
Wow,
Notre Dame,
we should.
but they do cry a lot, you know. They do
I like
cry a lot.
the Vanderbilt coach's perspective on it a little bit more, where he said, we had our chances during the season and we didn't win the games we needed to win, but we're still going to
Yeah.
play in the game, play in the bowl game.
Just yeah. I mean that's just it, man.
See, I don't have a problem with with individual players not going to bowl games. It's they're thinking about their future.
Right.
That I have no problem with that. But for a whole team, like for a school to because there are players that will play, that want to play in a
Yeah.
game because they don't get a chance to play in the whole season, and they'll be happy to play and
Right.
get a chance to
That is
showcase
true.
themselves. And
Who was that? Oh, it was U of L's running back that was out and actually came back and played.
huh?
And Brown, I
Oh,
think is
Isaac
his
Brown.
name. He
Nice.
he got hurt and was out like a month or something, and came back to play just in the bowl game.
That's cool.
And I got a lot of respect for that. I can respect it either way, kinda. I think you're letting your team down by not playing because you don't want to get hurt. But I mean, on the other hand, I can say, okay, if you're going to get a multi-million-dollar contract, I don't want some flunky out here taking my knee out, on a play either. You're just jealous, you
Yeah.
know, on a cheap hit or something,
Yeah.
So I mean, I get that side of it too, but I don't know. I had a
Well,
lot of respect for the ones that do play.
yeah. Well, I think and all both parties are playing for an outcome, right? And the outcome is probably not to make it to the Music City Bowl or the Pop Tarts Bowl, right? And then the individual, if you want to call it like the individual selfish or the individual just perspective is like, hey, my overall outcome is continuation of my career.
Right.
So, okay, the team hasn't hit their goal, but the player still has a goal in mind. That's kind of how I look at it. And because you don't see like a lot of players or maybe any players ever go, okay, well, we're in the playoff. I'm just not going to play because they're
Correct.
still on the way towards their goal.
Yeah. That's true too. What would you do? I mean, it's hard for us to say because we don't know. We're
I
not
mean,
in there.
yeah, if I had
You know.
several $1 million on the line, I don't know if I would. I think my brain would be more financially thinking than
See, I do
just
too.
be like individual, let me go out and play a game.
I think our competitive nature, for me too, and I know you're very competitive, would tell us to play, but I think our brain would say, "Why take the risk?"
Yeah.
You know. So I don't know. I would like to have been able to have had to make a choice to see what it
Yeah.
would have been.
Yeah.
But
And it is crazy because one thing,
and it's
it
done.
sometimes that you don't even get hit. It's a wrong move.
Right.
It's there's something after the play, like the Indiana, like, and this is a good example of it's not always in the game, but the Indiana guy that got hurt celebrating after they beat Ohio State.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, it was one of their key
Would the
defensive linemen.
Achilles or something bouncing
I
around?
guess, yeah. I can't remember if it was an Achilles, ACL, or MC, whatever it was, but yeah, something with his leg, I think, or lower body.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he's out for the rest of the year, and you
Ain't
just
that
don't know
crazy?
when and how things are going to happen. But at the same time, are you going to put yourself at unnecessary risk when you don't have to?
Yeah.
And that everybody's got to make their own decision on that.
Yeah. Let's see. Fred's got a good point. I'm going to bring up here in a minute, but let's see. A lot of good points on this. Seth says you have a 100% chance of getting hurt, whether it's the first game, middle, or the end of the season. So try to ever play, to your point. I
Yeah.
mean, ever play can be an issue. You know, Mike said they probably got consultants telling them not to play.
I'd say a big
I think
voice is from
a big,
agents and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, I think that is it too. That's a really good point, Mike. And Corey says, they're coached to play to the last whistle. So it's kind of neat. Everybody's got their own little spin, on it. But I tell you what, I'd be mad about if, as a fan, was paying what you got to pay to get one of them tickets and then find out Daniel's not going to play.
I
I
think
mean, you got to
I
be
would be
prepared for that.
upset, but I wouldn't be mad at the player. I would just be upset. I'd be like, "Oh man, that stinks. I don't get to see this
It's
guy."
like these professional athletes, those ones that are already athletes, when they get to the end of a season
Yeah.
and they know who's going to be in the playoffs, so
Yeah.
they don't play certain players. I think that's wrong. I think as a professional athlete, and then we'll finish our show up with some good content. But I think as a, I think as a professional athlete, they should have to play. I think they should have to play.
I don't see it like that because in my head they've earned the right to take that. It's a physical
But what about
boost
that dad or mom that spent the money to take themselves or their
I'm not
kid
saying that that's not
to a game?
unfortunate, but I will say this other guy's ability to make money. He's not good at anything other than playing football, right? Like he couldn't go be anything else.
Right. He's not going to go be a CPA.
Right. Now he could have been. I'm not saying that person is an idiot.
No, I know what you're
they've
saying.
trained their whole life to be this thing, and that's how they're taking care of their family and their self.
Yeah.
So if they have played so well throughout the season that they've set themselves up that they can now take a break and let their body physically heal to be better in the playoffs so they can go make more money because of bonuses and this, that, and the other and contract extensions. I think that that's just a business decision. Now, when other people, I get the fans are basically your customers, so you want to continue to make those people happy. But if all of our customers came and watched us how we work in the office, I don't think that should necessarily dictate how we work. If how we work is being the most effective for the work we're doing,
That's
just because they
fair.
want to see us work differently.
All right. That's fair. Yeah. That's a fair point. All right. Let's see. Mike says, let me counter that thought with this. He's typing this, so we'll wait for. He's always very logical, too. Let's see. Seth says, I agree with Wayne. Sorry, Daniel. They're paid big money to play a game.
Yeah.
So, and it is,
it's
and
a game,
it is their
it's their
livelihood.
Their livelihood.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're financing their
like Kyle said, if you want to change things up because of that, you stop buying shirts, hats, jerseys, shoes, and all that baloney. So, I mean,
everything's
it's all expensive.
All the entertainment industry is
at
$150 an average ticket.
Yeah.
But the point I think is like the entertainment industry is fueled by the people that is getting entertained by it, but then those same people have issues with the people that they support, but then they still support them. So, you have to figure out which is more important to you, the entertainment or what you believe in, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Mike said, so the team is essentially not only focused on the big picture, but it also caters to the one spending big bucks annually. So,
yeah, and who's paying the most, for
who's the target customer? He said,
yeah. And I think what you also
it's not the guy going to one game,
but where they're getting a lot of their money too is from like TV deals and all that kind of stuff as well. Which, once again, if we stopped watching it, then those deals would be.
Seth said that he doesn't know for sure. He said, but teams should have some type of accountability to put in their contract. They got to play a certain percentage of games.
And
So,
overall, like people want that to happen.
when now Kyle says he gets injured, and this is why this
And
conversation is why the systems is what it is.
and the guy wants to be on the field as much as he needs to be to have success for himself, which then carries over to team success
Yeah.
99% of the time. So it's not like the average player doesn't want to be on the field. They just know and see it as the bigger picture of their whole career, I think, a lot of times,
Right.
instead of the small picture of the game.
Yeah. Good. Kyle said, "Here comes the real truth." Yeah, well, that's true too. Vegas and the sports book, off the rails profit time. Love it. They said.
Speaking of sports books, I heard this thing that a fight that just occurred from one of the Pauls, Jake Paul or whatever, and the other, and the actual boxer, I can't remember his name. But if Jake Paul would have won that fight, I think it would have put like, I don't know the exact terminology for betting and all the stuff that goes along with it, but it was like $100 million
Wow.
would have been like on the draft. Let's say it was DraftKings. I can't remember if that was the exact one, but basically they would have like been in the hole on this bet, like $100 million or whatever.
My God.
So they were saying like, if these two athletes wanted to be like, we don't like DraftKings or whoever it was, we're just going to go screw them and put them out of business. We'll go throw this fight.
Well,
and mess with Vegas basically in this way. But it has turned into with legalized gambling a part of the sport.
Well, we're running out of time. So, hey, Craig, thank you. I appreciate that. Craig, and we get some other comments, said, fun show today, talking a little bit about a lot of different things. So, I appreciate that. And thanks for letting us go off the rails a little bit. I do want to touch on what Fred said. We'll end it up on a profit time content note here as well. He said, off topic, but have you decided what you're going to do about credit card fees for the upcoming season? You're passing on to the customer the full amount or partial. Fred, for us, we're just letting the credit card fee run through as additional overhead into our pricing structure. Everybody's going to pay a little bit, just like any. When I say everybody, we're just taking that as additional overhead, running it through as additional overhead, whether they credit card us or not. Everybody's going to pay a small percentage of that fee. At this point in time, not saying we're not going to change, but at this point in time, we're not passing that processing fee along. That's just what our decision has been. So, with that being said, I appreciate you guys listening to us. I appreciate you getting involved. You all are what makes the show exciting here every time we're on here on Turfs Up Radio. And as always, be safe, number one, all the time, but especially tonight if you're going out or over the weekend. Be safe, be careful, have fun, but know that you can always call and get a ride if you need it, or maybe you're somebody's ride. That's the other side. So, yes, Fred, I appreciate you, man. Always appreciate your content and your participation here with us on Profit Time. And remember, profit is not a dirty word. And I'll talk to you all next year.